It is Thursday, 2 o'clock. What as the time goes? Before you know it, I'm here looking at you live for another show of Create a Life You Love. Today is special. Why? Because I have a guest. I have a guest today, and her name is Aset August. Before I really bring her on, I just kind of want to again reiterate the show is titled Create a Life You Love. In order to create that life, we have to be well mind, body, and spirit. With my injury, that's what led me to write the book and what led me to be here in this moment right now with the show is because I realized that even though I was injured physically, it impacted me spiritually, mentally, psychologically, my health. That's going to impact your wealth. It all goes together. That's my point. If you have ever experienced any type of illness or anything with your body, it's going to basically start, I think in some aspects, if it's not the brain, it's your gut, which is what we're going to talk about today. So Aset, she is a holistic wellness coach, amongst others. She created a tonic, and she's going to tell you much more, everything. It's so much that she does, and she's well at doing it. I've experienced her tonic. I've tried it. I've used it for pain, and it worked. So she's going to share all that today and a lot about our gut health. So I'm just going to pass it on to you, Aset, and let's hear what you have to say, because this is going to be some great information.
Yeah, anytime, please. I explain more when I have questions evoked. So it's where you get most of my juices flowing. But
Yeah.
yes, I have had my own issues like everybody else does. For the most part, most people go to the doctor and try to get them to help them heal. So I have had those moments where I was going to the doctor. I realized that my body was inflamed. And most people in the United States of America deal with a lot of inflammation. And it has a lot to do with our culture. How we eat, how we rest, how we don't rest enough, lack of respect for universal laws that have a lot to do with the healing portion of our bodies. We don't respect those things at all, even as far as getting sunlight. A lot of people are deprived of sun, and is one of the most powerful common denominators for our body and what makes it tick. So I have focused on understanding the difference between foods, not genetically modified, but commercially grown and organic foods. So I was intrigued by the difference, and it made me wonder, why is there a difference? And throughout my studies for my 16 years plus of studying this stuff, it made me question why people are sick, and was this diversity of our food, why we have such a diverse split down the middle with healthy food versus so-called food, right? So I had my own issues, which was a host of them, and I think I have been blessed with those issues. And you probably say why I was blessed with them. It's because spiritually we all have a purpose, and I felt like I had everybody's common issue, which was gut issues, which I had serious issues for many years. As a young girl, I suffered with gut issues, and I didn't realize that my gut issues was the reason for all of my issues until I realized my gut had improved. And then I was able to say, oh, it was the gut the whole time. But besides the gut being an issue, why did the gut have that issue? So I continued to do my studies and realized that sugar was the common denominator for it all, especially when I lost my sugar crave after I did a power detox. So after a while, I began to explain to people, but the crazy part about it was that I was helping people heal, but I wasn't able to help myself. And the reason why I wasn't able to help myself because I was going to the doctor to help me get the help, and the doctors didn't have an explanation for none of my stuff. So I just suffered because knowing I'm holistic, I'm like, I'm not going to take all these medications. I'm not going to get injected with this, and I'll suffer. I'm that girl that would have 3 babies with no epidural. So I'm like, I can deal with anything else. So I did that, but did I like it? No, because having a baby only took me about 4 hours to have. I was dealing with this pain on a daily basis for years. So the doctors couldn't help me. And since they could not help me, I suffered because I didn't have a diagnosis. And I'm looking for a diagnosis, and that's how I help people through their diagnosis, because they give me what they're dealing with, even if it's fibromyalgia, which is really like, okay, whatever this is. We don't know what it is, so we'll just call it fibromyalgia,
Yeah. I was going to say, just right when you're saying that right there, because your experience, my experience was similar, because with the head injury, even though everything it relates back to your biology, to your, your gut, your inflammation, that type of thing. So with the head injury, it was a nervous system issue. And so I was diagnosed before the TB. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and then another one after that was Sjogren's. That's an autoimmune. I actually just stopped taking the medication for that. Like, I should say that or not, because it just had so many other side effects. But what you were just saying as well is all of those things impact, like, your body, the inflammation, the sugar, which at times, and then the other thing that you said as well, that's what I wanted to really lay in on, is I did all the injections, so many injections of, of course, pain pills, but then cortisone, and the other stuff, I don't even want to know what it was. I got stuff in my head so many times, the injections, trigger points, all those things. So I know I'm gonna let you continue, but I also want to keep in the back of your mind, when you do have all those things in your body, which you'll probably go over anyway, how do you get rid of it? How do you because I did that. I did conventional, holistic, acupuncture, you know what I mean? I did the whole gamut. And to be honest, I didn't want to do any of it, but the pain was so severe that it was either that or jump out of my body. And I couldn't jump out of my body, so.
As us being a machine, we are a machine. We are very creative design. I like to call, God, when I'm thinking on a science tip, the greatest intellectual designer, and our body has been structured to the greatest precision. I mean, as great as the universe is set up, that's the same way our universe is set up. And if it goes off just a little, then everything else goes off a lot. So even if we move away from the sun just a little bit, it froze, right? So same difference with our body. If our body move off just a little bit, then if you don't understand what's making it tick, it's going to continue to just go into another space. So but what I have talking to so many people during my career of holistic studies and practices, I have ran into a lot of people who say they have fibromyalgia, and they even try to tell me maybe it's fibromyalgia, but I do know that fibromyalgia is just one of those toss-up terms, when they just can't figure it out, and then they want to say it's PTSD and it's causing you to have these physical issues, and the truth is it may as well be because the way we think can cause our body to be imbalanced too. So but I also do know that one thing that when it comes to autoimmune stuff and inflammation in the body, like I said, I had everybody's issues. I had the most common ones, shall I say. And one of the biggest issues that I had was sugar issues. So the sugar issue, which I knew it was the greatest pain, was it was the greatest mental pain, because I knew I was damaging my body, but I had no idea it was affecting every little thing until I detoxed. And the reason why I push detox so much, because although I am a holistic practitioner, it doesn't mean that I focus on food. I focus on mind, body, spirit. And so in order for your mind and your spirit to be enhanced, you got to get that body tight, because if you don't, your whole mind is going to be based on pain. You can't think right. So how can you get to spirituality? How can you listen to what spirit is saying, what God is saying, what the universe is saying, what nature is saying, if you're in pain all day, every day? All you're going to be saying is, where are my medication? Where is this? How can I get a back rub? How is You're narrow-minded. So when I realized that the sugar was the issue, I lost my sugar craving, and I realized everything else was correcting itself because of me noticing I didn't have the sugar craving. I automatically equated it to, oh wow, a detox was taking place, and since I don't have these issues anymore and I don't have a sugar craving anymore, it's my gut. My gut. Now, a lot of people in our world never damn near detox. And that part alone has a severe effect on how your body heals. Because if your body is trying to heal, because we're a sophisticated molecular structure, if your body cannot receive the tools, it's like going into a surgery. You're the doctor and you're like, I'm about to perform surgery and help this person fix this and this and that and other. But then they go in there and say, well, I ain't got no tools. Where are my tools?
You know what's interesting about that? Just want to reiterate that point, because I was dealing with doctors. I mean, this was 10 years. So it was a long process of surgery, treatments, etc. Fortunately, I had some knowledge, so I was doing some good things. But that's one of the key things, because they're not going to really tell you it's just medication or chemicals.
Yes.
They're not really telling you how to incorporate the right foods. Like we're familiar because with the location. I lived at Organic Roots. It was a store. I lived on, and if not, I was juicing and doing a lot of things when I could and trying to eat the right foods, even though I was taking the medication at the same time. But I just want to say that is so important. So you would have to go outside of conventional medication in order to get that information.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't know. Some doctors are incorporating that now. However,
which is still small, but they're, and a lot of times they're pushed and backed by big farms. So, but they don't, you can do and like I tell people all the time, I have people come up to me and say, hey, I do juice, I do this, and I'm still in pain. So, and I say, when was the last time did you detox? Because you can
what would be a good detox? What would be?
It depends, because a lot of people always try to pinpoint certain things they want to detox. They say, I want to detox my liver. I want to detox my kidney. I want to detox my gallbladder. But as a holistic person and understanding, I look back, whenever I talk to people, I always ask them what happened back there. Even though you're fixing it or you're working on fixing it, I'm interested in that, but I want to know what kind of damage you did back then, and for how long. So when people, they try to fix certain things, but they put the cart before the horse, and they don't realize that you can try to heal your liver, but if you don't get to the what it takes to get to the liver, then how can you penetrate the liver? So I always focus on the gut. If your gut is not detoxed for receiving, because you got to understand how the body is operating. We are sophisticated. So we have, it's an automatic thing. We know we have to put food in our mouth to eat. So when we do that, it goes down our throat, and it goes into our stomach, and then it goes into our small intestines. A lot of people don't probably understand what's going on after they go through the stomach, and they don't understand that the stomach is responsible for breaking the food down so it can be bit down into smaller pieces and liquefied so it can go into another space to be absorbed. And people
Right.
don't really understand that, but based on our culture and how we eat so bad and how they condition us to eat foods that don't supposed to be crossed together and foods that's just inflammatory, our gut gets clogged. It gets clogged. And so if you're trying to heal, even if you don't do the things that you've been doing, if you're trying to heal, how can you heal? How can you see a porcelain toilet if you never scrub the toilet to see the porcelain bowl? You can flush the toilet.
So when you say that, this is, there's no silly question. I'm not going to use the other word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's clarify gut versus our stomach. It's all the same. We have it. Small intestines, large intestines.
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentioned something about our gut getting clogged.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we have the small intestines and we have the large intestines.
Yeah.
The small intestines is responsible for receiving the nutritional things that our liver, our gallbladder, our kidney needs, our thyroids. I hear people talk about, I got thyroid issues, and they want to pull the thyroid out instead of saying, hey, do a gut cleanse so you can receive the nutrients to help feed the thyroid. If you're trying to heal your liver, how can you heal your liver when you can't receive nutrients in your gut? You got these straws, that's the straws called villi, and they're inside of your intestinal walls, and they're meant to suck nutrients in. That's their main purpose. Once it get broken down in the stomach, it passes it through the sphincters to go into the small intestines, and the small intestines have straws where food lands in there for absorption to go everywhere it needs to go. But if we cannot, if all the bad eating, the sugars, the pastas, the meat and something that America loves to do all the time, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible diet, which is meat and potatoes.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was like, could I say it? I think I know the answer.
Yeah.
Would it be the meat and potatoes?
Meat and potatoes.
Or meat, or like burgers, like a hamburger,
burgers
meat
and bread.
Uh-huh.
No good.
I learned
so
years
no
ago.
good. So
But
bad.
that's our diet.
That's
hamburgers,
our diet, and that's why we're
hot dogs.
But guess what? That's why we're so sick.
Yeah.
That's why we're old and decrepit. We get old and we get decrepit. You can get older and not decrepit, but we get old and decrepit because as a baby, they start giving us sugar. As soon as when we turn age 1, they can't wait to give us candy. They can't wait to give us that birthday cake and let us plant our face in it. But we're damaging our babies, and this is why we get so messed up when we hit maybe 20, 25, because we had 25 years to mess our intestines up with sugar. And then this is why the kids are acting radical. They're acting radical.
But are there any good sugars? Like, is there any good?
Well, natural sugar.
And that would be
watermelon.
Okay, fruits,
so, dates. Yeah. Dates is
dates.
What's so interesting? My baby, they try to get away with the candy and stuff like that, and I'm very pulled back on that. And sometimes they just do the most, right? But I have that's a jujube. A jujube is something that I use in my product, and a jujube is known for balancing sugar blood levels. But it's so sweet. It's so sweet, and even my baby say, "Ooh, this is super sweet. I don't like it." So we underestimate the true powers of satisfying our sugar, and we're not supposed to have sugar cravings. The reason why we have these sugar cravings is because we put something in our body that make us say, "Give me more," because we are alive now. We're attached to you, so you got to take care of us too. You brought us here, so take care of us. So they start making you say, "Go left." Your mouth is watering. You see that. You know what that is. We're a part of you. McDonald's have those Sundays that you also love. Go get one, because we want more party animals in here too. So the more we start putting that in, our gut keep getting clogged up and stuff, and now over years and years and years, now you're like, well, how can I get out of this pain? And nobody contribute all that pain going to gut issues, because the gut is stopping you. The blockage on those straws, it's like this block here, and on the other side the body's trying to receive nutrients on this side, but you can't get it in. So how can you heal your liver? How can you heal your kidney? The only way you can do that and compete with sugar is through a powerful detox, a gut scum cleanser. Now, ginger is one of those things that do that, but it's not powerful enough to say cravings are gone. It's powerful enough to push things out of there, but it's not actually making the scum lift and go. And that's why I express to people so much, you got to find a powerful detoxer that's going to help you get this done, because if you don't, you're going to be in pain. You're going to get your organs are going to starve, and they're going to your blood cells are going to turn into cancer cells. That's another thing as well. Like, we don't receive enough minerals in our body, and the reason why is because we got this block.
But then again, when you say minerals, we know, like, the whole thing. I mean, we have like a ton of vitamins out there. Like, and they say, well, don't take vitamins because you don't even know if it's going to get into your bloodstream, or when you go to the bathroom and do number one, it'll all come out.
Lack of absorption.
Well, that's the thing. So we were getting minerals through plant food because the soil had minerals. But now
But you still can't get it. You're still having a hard time because people eat so bad for so many years. They have this thick caking of blockage that's blocking from the sugars and the carbs and the bad combination of foods. And then the food is dead. It's like, how can you feed a live body dead food? So this is why plant-based is so important. But even when you do go plant-based, I have people going plant-based and they still have some issues. The reason why is because they never detox. You have to detox your gut. You have to de-scum it if you want to receive those nutrition, the nutrition that your body is trying to receive. It's like I have a lot of analogies that I can use, but have you ever seen a toilet bowl being placed on its platform, old school style? They used to have this really thick wax, like this donuts, a lot of people experience that come out of their stool. That's the stuff that's sitting on their intestinal walls. So how?
I know some people, when they did that, when it was the whole thing about the Atkins, a lot of people talked about mucus. That was another thing.
Mucus. Mucus. I call it scum. Either way, it's blocking. We have a healthy amount of mucus in our body, but we have an influx of it when we eat terrible. And then we get more mucus because it's not the mucus that our body wants. It's an added mucus. It's an invader. It's like a host. A parasite that went into your body. Parasites are extremely powerful, and they can make you feel a certain way. They can make you think a certain way. They can make you drive a certain way. They can make you drive to a place you're not really wanting, all because you have a craving.
Yeah, how do you know if you have a parasite?
There's some holistic telltales, and then there's also some scientific telltales where you can go ahead and get your stool tested to see if you have those type of things. But if you're sensitive to your body, you'll know, because you'll have certain tingle sensation, you'll have skin issues, you'll have eczema, you'll have ringworms. Those are parasitic responses. That's the body saying, I got to get this thing out of here. A lot of times people have rectal issues, where they feel tingling sensation in their rectal. That's a parasite. Those are because they're in the intestines. So sometimes kids get it and they get these pinworms and they come out.
That happened to my son when he was a little boy. I was like, and it was the strangest thing. A friend happened to tell me. I was talking to a friend. He was not even in kindergarten yet. And she said, I just said something, and she said, well, he probably has. She didn't. It wasn't wingworms. It was another one she mentioned.
There are a few of them.
And I said, how did connect? She said, well, if he played in the sand,
that's another way.
At the playground, and it got in his mouth, that's how. And she said you can find out because they'll come out
at night.
But yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God. But what happened was, I'm like, still, I felt so horrible. But when he went to the bathroom, I saw them. Pinworms.
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 Yeah, I said that. I mentioned
And
that.
so I took
Mm-hmm.
him straight to the doctor and they gave him a tablet,
Mm-hmm.
some tablets to get rid of it.
Which is, and another way to get rid of it is using papaya seeds,
Okay.
or
Yes,
black
that
walnut.
was like,
Oh yeah, but
mhm.
the problem is when we get these medications and we take them from the doctor, we break down our ability to have good immune response in our
Yeah,
gut, because inside of our gut, or our intestines, shall I say,
yeah,
we everything is connected in there. I can actually show you, because I have a diaphragm, because I study this stuff. I take courses on this
yeah.
stuff. So, and I have a really thick book that will literally show you that everything in your body is connected to your gut. And this is why most of the people are having these different issues, because their gut is all jacked up with scum and they can't receive nutrients for those specific organs or
Right.
glands. And this is why people will have thyroid issues. I hear all the time, I got thyroid issues. They pull my thyroids, they pull my gallbladder, and it's like they didn't have to do any of that. All they had to do was ask, what were you eating? How's your diet? Let me help you fix that. And before, first and foremost, you need to detox, because
Yeah,
even when you do fix your diet or fix your food habits, if you can't get the nutrients to penetrate inside of those intestinal walls, those
yeah.
straws, then you're basically just,
So
you know.
that's a lot. Like I think we talked a little before this, and I know you're gonna have to come back with more information. However, can you give us just a recipe, maybe one or two, of how to do a detox?
Okay.
Just
Depend. Okay, so when it comes to gut detox, I have my own special recipe.
mhm.
My recipe is my actual product. It's actually right there.
Mhm.
So, and
Mhm.
it's been very powerful. And people can make it themselves, but it's just a blend that I have. And the only reason why the blend is like that is because I was destined to help myself. And by
Wow.
me being able to help other people prior to helping myself, I was able to, say, you know what, enough is enough. Let me put my thinking cap on, because I need to survive. But on a simple tip, besides my product, people can detox, with parasites. They can flush their system with papaya seeds. Eat that for a while. Like blend it down and put it in a smoothie. It's very terrible. It tastes horrible. I think it has like more of a spice. But you can do that. If you're not interested in doing it that way, people can flush their system, which I highly encourage people to do a gut flush every once in a while, which is there's a difference. There's a difference between a detox and a flush. And I'm sure we can
Okay.
talk about that the next time. But
Yeah.
you can flush your system on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis with senna leaves. Making sure that you don't break down your contraction that your intestines have the ability to do on their own, because people can abuse senna leaves and then they stop their intestines from being able to contract, because the senna leaves is pushing it out on their own. But you can do that just maybe weekly, just to flush, especially for men, because men like to eat a lot of meat and potatoes, but and then you walk around with this big huge stomach thinking that this is, I'm healthy. But at the end of the day, no, your liver is not in a good space and your gut
Wow.
is not in a good space either. So for my men who are listening, a lot of times if you have that protruding gut, you got inflamed liver at the same time. Check up on it. But flushing like that, drinking tons of water. We don't drink enough water. And sometimes I can be a victim of it, but I walk around with this. People think
Yeah.
I'm goofy and silly about it, but I understand that I have a sensitive gut. I need to respect it, because I had problems like that when I was a young girl, and now I get it. So I'm like, I'm not playing no games. But you can flush that way. You can also do a detox if you're trying to get rid of harsh chemicals, such as like metals and things. You can do that with parsley water or cilantro water. You can also do pineapple, pineapple and parsley that helps with pulling heavy metals out of the body and heavy detoxins. But outside of that, the best recipe that I know is the one that I produce. And I've never seen another person talk about a detox that was just as powerful as mine. And I don't think I've ever did a detox, but based on what that detox that I've created did for me, I'm like, this got to help everybody else. And it has been. It has been. It's been resetting a lot of people. So, and it helps with the metabolism too, because people think just because they get older, especially women, we get older and they think we have to pick up on that weight. It's not true. We don't have to pick up on it. We just need to detox our gut to keep our metabolism fired off. That's why we're so, we're getting bigger, we're getting bloated, we're hurting. It doesn't have to be that way.
It's the way out of that. So Can you just share your email, your contact, your social media, so you can reach out in?
Well, my website is religionofhealth.com. And my product, which is originalveganbonebroth.com. And I'm on Instagram. I have 2 handles. One is for information, and the other one is for spitting out things and random situations when I want to act Tourette's and spit out holistic stuff. That one is Instagram religion_of_health, and the other one is meaningful_holistic. So I also have a Facebook group that's called Going Holistic. So that's for people who want to ask me questions, or they get into something and I just put out some research and share it with the whole group. If somebody have a particular question, I would take it and then do a little topic on it and share it with the whole group so everybody can benefit from it.
That's really good information. So I hope everyone just take in this information, because it is to help you. Again, like I said, how can you create a life that you love when your body is not, in tune? And we are learning now that starts with your gut, and it's to help you mind, body, and spirit. So again, remember, when you think it, you speak it, you be it, to create a life you love. From my best spirit to your best spirit. Until next time, ciao. Okay, the recording has stopped. And if anyone have any questions, we have a couple of people on.
Do you guys have any questions? Okay. You're welcome, Linda. There's a chat in here.
I was trying to unmute.
Lloyd asks, how does the product work? The product works. Let me go ahead and turn this back around. The product works. It's a gut support system. So it goes in the gut and it de-scums the gut. The powerful properties inside of it, such as your turmeric, your ginger, those are anti-inflammatories, but the ginger itself is known for pushing stool out of the gut. So so when you have something that's going in, pushing everything out, it's like a house. A newly old house that's about to be constructed. In order for you to get that house prepped, you got to go in there and you got to move all that stuff out of there. You got to take everything out of there, push it on out, push it to the curb, get it in a dumpster. And that's what the ginger does. The turmeric goes in along with the ginger and settles the inflammation that's attached to the gut. So with the other ingredients, such as your allium compounds, your citrus, the blood, the things that help the blood. It's delivering all these nutritional properties throughout the body. Since the gut has been descummed by the ginger, everything else is able to finally get in there and say, okay, now we have clear access. Now we can go in and start bringing down some inflammation. And then a lot of times people don't have cravings anymore, so they don't want to mess it up. So they come back and they say, well, how can I eat? And they start eating cleaner. So now that they're eating cleaner because the cravings are gone and they're still taking a product, their body is saying, I'm finally eating. That's why it's called a vegan bone broth, because it has all these medicinal properties in there that's actually not just cleaning the gut, it's also descumming and is now uploading value to the body. And this is why people come back saying my cholesterol level is better, my A1C level numbers are down, my kidney filters improved by a couple of points, my liver is not as inflamed, da 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 da. I don't have the pains anymore, my kidney, I hear all kind of stories, but that's how that tonic work is a tonic. So thanks for asking that question.
Yeah. So, like I said, we definitely have to have you come back and get more people in here so they can get their, questions. I know a lot of people. A lot of people have questions. A lot of people are really stuck.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of individuals are stuck,
and they don't know. They don't
know. They don't know what to do. They're in pain. They, having cravings. Eating habits are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Eating all during the day, during the night. That's
that's not you. And
right.
This is why I tell people that's not you. That's not,
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad because people don't realize that's not them. It's
right.
I don't know if you heard the song Another Love Taking Over by Shantae Moore. That's exactly what it is.